Hey everyone! Before today's episode, I just wanted to give a huge thank you to today's patron, Taylor Ward.
What you working on?
Jeez, don't sneak up on me like that.
Dude, I wasn't sneaking. What are you so focused on?
Just writing an email.
Wow, yeah, sounds important.
It's someone from Monsters Den.
Oh, did someone have a sighting?
Yeah. Well, there was a sighting in the news, but that's not what this is.
Then what is it?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing? Then who is Annie?
Just a fan of the show.
Then why are you emailing her instead of posting on Monsters Den?
I don't know. We've been talking a lot lately. Just seemed easier.
Ooh, Lucas has a girlfriend.
Do not. What are you, 12?
You're the one getting embarrassed.
No, I'm not.
Could have fooled me.
I don't even feel bad telling you where the sighting happened.
Oh, right. Where?
Ohio.
Seriously? Again?
Much to Mia's disappointment, we were indeed heading back east to Ohio. We had gotten word of a pretty promising cryptid sighting. A real up-close and personal one, too, from the sound of it.
So, what are we looking for in Ohio this time?
Well, as best as I can tell, I think our subject is a creature known as the Ohio Grassman.
Grassman? This is either the most boring cryptid ever, or, like, the chillest.
Yeah, no, it's not a great name. You know, I can't even get a solid source on where it comes from either. One story says they eat wheat and long grasses, but another one says it's because they use long grass to build huts or nests.
Cool.
It's also sometimes referred to as orange eyes.
Okay, now that is a cool name.
Yeah, but not as well known as Grassman.
And neither of them really tell me much about the creature. What are we actually dealing with?
Well, it's not entirely clear. Something bipedal, for sure. Big, furry, occasionally aggressive. From what I can tell, sightings, or at least the legends, date back to 1869, which is when one creature tried to throw a man out of a moving carriage, and it stopped when his daughter threw rocks at it.
Okay, I'll be sure to bring some rocks for protection.
Right? Aside from that, the only real sighting I could find, besides this recent one, was from 1978.
Alright, let me hear it.
Well, in the town of Minerva, some kids were playing in a gravel pit outside their grandparents' house when they ran inside screaming about seeing a monster. Now the grandparents, the Claytons, went outside and saw a creature covered in dark fur. And, I love this bit, sitting in the pit and fiddling with discarded trash.
What?
Yeah. So, of course, the Claytons freak out and they run away too. They claimed to have seen it a few more times after this. I guess one time it was just staring in at them through a kitchen window.
Ugh. I don't care if it's a human or not. I do not want to see a face looking in at me through a window. Ever.
Yeah, agreed. They saw it a few more times on top of some nearby hill, and during one of these sightings, they claimed to have actually seen two of the creatures at the same time. And they also blamed the Grassman for killing their dog.
It killed their dog?
Maybe? It was found with its neck snapped, but that happened a few days before the first sighting. They didn't even make the connection with the Grassman until later on.
That is kind of a stretch.
Yeah. Although, judging from the new sighting, the creature does seem like it might be pretty aggressive.
Right. Tell me about that.
Well, a Curtis and Amy Barnes claimed to have seen a large creature in the woods outside of Carrollton, Ohio. Now, Carrollton, by the way, is only like half an hour away from Minerva, where the Claytons had their sightings.
That sounds promising.
Yeah. According to the news, they were out camping, and some creature tried to attack them and chase them out of the woods. Curtis also described the creature as some kind of large biped.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
So we're going after another Sasquatch then?
Well, maybe. I'm not 100% sure.
Really? It sure sounds like a Sasquatch to me.
Doesn't it seem too violent? I mean, Bigfoot and the Dewey Lake Monster, they were both so quiet and calm.
Lucas, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, hell, look at dogs. On the one hand, you've got big, friendly golden retrievers, and on the other hand, you have chihuahuas who will nip at you for looking at them the wrong way.
Oh, yeah, that is a good point.
Besides, if it weren't a Sasquatch, what else would it be?
I don't know. I mean, for a boring, mundane answer, it could be possible they saw, like, a bear or something reared up on its hind legs. Or maybe it's some other cryptid that hasn't really been reported before, at least not in this area. Maybe it's another lycanthrope or something.
The aggression would fit with a lycanthrope. I guess there's only one way to find out.
The next day, we reached Carrollton, Ohio, a very tiny town. Actually, a village, technically. We were an hour and a half south of Cleveland and about an hour west of the Pennsylvania border. We had gotten in contact with Curtis and Amy Barnes, and they agreed to talk to us. So, once we got settled in, that was our first stop.
Hi, are you Amy and Curtis?
Yeah, Mia. Lucas.
Yep. Hi.
So you want to know what Curtis thinks he saw? I don't know how much help I'll be.
You were there, though, when it happened, right?
Yeah?
Well, since you were there at the time, we'd still love to hear from both of you.
Fine.
So, how does this work?
Well, since you saw the creature, why don't you tell us your version of events first?
Like, what it looked like?
Whatever you think is relevant. Just start at the beginning.
Okay. Well, it was last weekend. We were camping.
We like to try going at least once a month during the summer.
Right. Yeah. We were getting a little tired of the usual spots, so this time we decided to go a little further north. The first day was normal. Set up camp, got settled in, that sort of thing. We heard some weird noises that night, but we didn't think too much of it.
What kind of noises?
Well, it was almost... I don't know, how would you describe it?
It was almost like screaming, but not quite. It certainly wasn't human or anything. Probably just some kind of bird.
Okay.
The next day was normal too, until I went out to get some more firewood. I wanted to do that before it got dark out.
So, like, late afternoon?
Yeah. So I'm getting sticks, and then all of a sudden, I hear this snap, like a big branch breaking. And all of a sudden, it goes flying over my head. I was trying to figure out what just happened, what could have caused it, when I hear this roar. It was like a screech, kind of like the sound we heard the night before. Then I hear these massive thuds and see this big giant monster running at me.
Can you remember what it looked like?
I didn't exactly get a good look. I took off back to camp the second I saw it. It was definitely big. I can tell you that much. Covered in dark fur, I think.
So it chased you?
Yeah. The ground shook when it moved, and so I knew it was still coming after me. I ran to camp and told Amy we had to get out of there. We left all our shit, booked it for the car, and here we are.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're both okay.
Yeah, me too. The thing almost killed us.
Ugh.
What?
Nothing.
Amy, do you want to tell us your side of the story now?
Yeah, sure. Like Curtis said, we were camping. We heard some weird bird sounds or whatever during our first night.
Sorry, but didn't that freak you guys out?
Not really. I mean, do you guys go camping much?
Sort of.
Well, you're always hearing different animals out there, and it's not like I know what every animal around here sounds like. I just figured it was something we hadn't seen before, or, heard. Anyway, yeah, we just spent the next day hanging out. Curtis went to get wood for the fire. I started prepping dinner. Maybe 20 minutes later, he comes bursting into camp at a full sprint, screaming his head off that it's after him and we need to get out of here. Obviously, I freaked out because I'm thinking a bear or something is about to come out of the woods, so I follow him and we both run to the car.
But you didn't see anything or hear it?
No, if there really was an animal chasing him...
There was.
If there was, I didn't see it.
Could you guys show us on a map whereabouts you were camping when this happened?
What? No. Why would you want to go back there?
Yeah, I don't know why you would want to do that.
We like to be thorough in our investigations.
Okay, whatever. Suit yourself.
Well, if you really do want to go there, don't say we didn't warn you.
Amy and Curtis showed us, somewhat reluctantly, where they had been camping when they had the encounter. We thanked them for their time and then returned to our room and debated what to do next.
I think we take the rifle.
Wait, what? Why?
Do you remember how big Sasquatch is?
Yeah, I do.
Now imagine an angry one. You really want to go up against something like that without a gun?
I don't know. If it really is a Bigfoot, I can't imagine it being that aggressive. Jeez, could you imagine being known as the dude that killed Bigfoot? I don't think I could live that down.
I cannot believe you're arguing against me on this one. But, fine. Let's assume it's not a Sasquatch. Like you said, let's imagine it's a lycanthrope.
Okay, but what if it's not really dangerous? I don't know, what if we make a mistake again?
Oh, Lucas, is this about the Wahila? Come on, I told you. I forgive you. Besides...
What?
Back in Mexico, I almost lost you. Conservation is still important, but I'd rather we make mistakes and be alive.
Okay. But I just feel like we need more practice with the rifle. Let's just take the other stuff for now. Trank gun, cattle prod, bear spray.
Alright, fine. And we are definitely leaving you at home.
Sorry, girl. Don't know how dangerous this will be. With our plans decided, we got some dinner and went to bed. The next morning, we were up at dawn. First, we went right to the area in which Curtis and Amy had been camping. The area turned out to be pretty remote, so even if the creature was dangerous, it seemed like there was a pretty low chance of human contact. And if we didn't have to put down or relocate the creature, that would certainly make our lives easier.
Here's their camp.
It is trashed.
Yeah. Although it's been, more than a week now? Any number of animals could have been rooting around by this point.
Right. Hey, is this a track?
Looks like it, but that's weird.
What?
It is similar to Sasquatch, but see here? There's only 3 toes.
Maybe it's only a partial print?
Maybe.
Well, the Bigfoot would be nice. Want to try using your monster radar?
You know, I'm sorry I harped on you for so long about calling them powers, because monster radar is so much worse. But, yeah, be quiet.
You got it.
Alright, yeah. I've got a feeling. Follow me.
We began walking through the woods, with Mia occasionally stopping to reorient herself, before finally coming to a stop.
Okay, I think we're close.
Time for the whole good vibes thing?
Yeah, here's hoping it's a Sasquatch.
Mia knelt down onto the ground and closed her eyes. The previous Bigfoot-type creatures we had encountered only revealed themselves to us when Mia used her powers to project a feeling of peace, letting the creatures know we weren't a threat. But this time, before she could really even start to focus, we heard an ear-splitting shriek. Okay, yeah, definitely sounds aggressive.
We should head back. Now!
Before we could see whatever was planning to attack us, we turned tail and ran away, just like Curtis and Amy. We ran all the way back, past their old campsite, and right back to our car. We decided to go home, regroup, and plan a new course of action for the next day. Maybe some kind of trap?
I can make a trap that would capture a frogman or the chupacabra. Maybe a lycanthrope, but not something that big.
Right, okay. Given that it seems pretty chase-prone, tranking it might not be the easiest. What if we left some food out and filled that with sedatives?
That might work. Then again, we don't know exactly what we're dealing with, so we wouldn't know what kind of food it eats.
What if we just brought a little bit of everything? Berries, meat, fish, maybe some bugs?
All laced with sedatives? Without knowing which of the foods it would eat, I would have no way of knowing how much sedative to use. Not to mention, all the extra food would probably be eaten by something else, and then we'd just be drugging random forest animals.
Okay. What if we just track it again, but we don't get as close? Bring the binoculars, try and get a sighting from a distance?
It would take a while. We'd have to move slow, just so I could make sure we weren't getting too close. And even then, there's no guarantee we get a good look at it. But it's worth a shot.
And so, the next morning, we once again returned to the woods. When we reached the campsite, however, we noticed something that hadn't been there the day before. Small figures, for lack of a better word. Made out of interwoven branches and some grass fibers. They vaguely resembled humans. And there were 2 of them.
What in the hell is this? Some kind of Blair Witch bullshit?
I'm not gonna lie, that is super creepy. Then again...
What?
I can't remember specifically, but I feel like I have heard stories of people finding things made out of tree limbs and then claiming they were made by Bigfoot. Big stuff, though, like shelters. Nothing like this.
You think the Grassman made these?
You don't? We were just here yesterday.
If it were that smart, we'd be talking like almost Goatman levels of intelligence.
I mean, the only other thing I can think of is a guy in a suit trying to scare away a bunch of meddling kids.
No, you heard the sounds it made. It is definitely not human. Let's just stick to the plan, I guess.
The day was very stop and go. Mia would get an idea of the creature's general direction, we would hike a little bit towards it, then get out the binoculars and just look around. Every so often, Mia would try and sense the creature again, and then we would move around accordingly.
Wait, that can't be right.
What?
I think it's way closer.
Wait, how close? I thought you've been checking.
I don't know. I thought I was too.
At that moment, a creature appeared from out of the woods. It looked like another Bigfoot, all right. We were about to panic, but before we could run away, we realized that the creature was acting completely different. There had been no shrieking, nothing thrown at us, no chasing. It was calm. It looked at each of us for just a moment before walking forward. What the hell is going on?
I don't fucking know. Don't move.
The creature continued walking towards us. It moved at a steady pace, not running or charging, not aggressive at all. As it reached us, it walked around without slowing and just kept on going past us. The other Bigfoots had been stealthy, but this one was different. Mia and I looked at each other and slowly, cautiously, decided to follow it. This is insane.
Yeah, it's acting so weird.
What's the plan anyway? Just follow it until it does something?
Yeah, or it gets sick of us.
We continued to follow the creature at the same casual pace. Well, It was casual for the creature. Considering the height difference between us, Mia and I did have to break into a slow jog at a few points to keep up. Eventually, though, without even realizing it, we ended up back at the abandoned campsite. The creature walked directly over to the stick figures and bent down, picking them both up. It turned back and held them out, one towards each of us. Do we take them?
Yeah, I guess so. Thank you.
As soon as we took the stick figures, the creature went back into the woods. But unlike the loud journey it took to the campsite, this time it was gone almost immediately, without a sound. After standing in stunned silence for a few moments, we returned home. This is crazy.
Are all Sasquatch species this intelligent? Or is this one just an outlier?
Why did it give us these anyway?
I think maybe it felt like an apology.
What?
I think the aggression is just an attempt to keep people away, you know? I don't think it's a carnivore. At least, I don't think it eats people. But maybe it has an infant or something. Maybe it already started to scare us when it realized our intentions. And then it made the stick figures as a way of saying sorry.
That would be wild.
Field notes. The Ohio Grassman is definitely a member of the, Sasquatch family. Note to self, come up with a better name for that. It stood 7 feet tall, making it a little shorter than the Sasquatch. It had a wide torso, but its limbs were long and thin. As far as coloration, the creature's fur was a dark, grayish tan, and its skin was a much darker gray, almost black. Also of note, the print we found appeared to only have 3 toes. I tried to get a good look at its feet, but considering we spent most of our time behind the creature, that was easier said than done. As best I could tell, unlike Sasquatch and its relatively human feet, the Grassman's feet were more similar to other primates, with a thumb-like big toe and 4 smaller toes. There was, however, a larger than average gap in the middle of the smaller toes, dividing them into 2 pairs. Overall, this made each pair of toes look like one large toe, making it look like the creature had 3 toes at a glance. Sorry, I said toes too much. Now, unlike Sasquatch and the Dewey Lake Monster, the Grassman was far more aggressive. As I mentioned to Lucas, this could just be a behavioral difference between species. There also could have been some other unknown factors that led to an increase in its aggression, such as protecting young or defending its territory. But I can't really say for sure. It did, however, seem to become docile once it knew we were not a threat. Additionally, it appeared to have crafted 2 small, human-like figures out of sticks and plant fibers. Couple this with the fact that the creature went out of its way to give us said figures suggests an intelligence far greater than we had previously suspected. Hell, they could have a whole society out there in the woods for all we know. End field notes.
The Cryptid Cases has been a production of Little Giant Monsters.
You can follow us by searching Little Giant Monsters on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to keep up to date with everything we're working on. We even post a sketch of the latest cryptid every Monday after a new episode.
You can also visit our website, littlegiantmonsters.com, to see all of our content in one place.
While you're there, want our designs on stickers, t-shirts, coffee mugs, and more? We now have merch. Just look for the merchandise link on our website.
If you really like what we're doing and want to see us do more, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Rewards include behind-the-scenes content, bonus material, and more. Search Little Giant Monsters on Patreon or find a link on our website.
You can also help us by leaving a rating and review on iTunes. Not only does each review warm our cold, cynical hearts, but it helps us move up the charts and bring the show to a wider audience.
Your continued support means so much to us. Thanks for listening and see you again soon.